Hey guys, and welcome to this afternoon's webinar with myself, James Upjohn. I'm just going to start off before we get started with the webinar, just by doing a quick audio check. Hopefully you can all see the chat box on your screens. If you can hear me okay, will you just put a 1 in the chat box for me and press enter, please? Just make sure that I'm coming through loud and clear. Perfect, thank you, David. Darren, it's good to see you. Jonathan, Kara, I want to say, sorry if I didn't say that right. Paula, Sanja, Vlad, thank you very much. It's great to see you all on this webinar. I'm going to share my screen with you as well now, and hopefully you should see a warm welcome from Serpify. So if you can see that, will you put a 1 in the chat box for me there as well, please? Perfect, thank you very much. Okay, great stuff. So guys, just a real quick introduction about who I am and why we've invited you along to this webinar. My name's James Upjohn and I'm one of the co-founders of Serpify Limited. We're a search engine only SEO company that specializes in maps and organic search rankings. And we're based in Manchester. We've got offices in Warrington, Colchester, and also in Appleton, and we've been doing SEO for some time now. I'm just going to go to the next slide on this webinar. Hopefully I can make this work. And what we're basically going to do on this webinar today is we're going to talk about some important changes that happened with Google in 2018, including the mobile first update, featured snippets, and security. We're going to talk about 5 simple SEO actions to optimize any website, keyword cannibalisation, structured data, the 3 kings, we like to call that. That's the titles, meta descriptions, and heading tags. Map, embeds, and naps. Nap is an acronym for name, address, phone number, and site structure. So basically what we want to do is we want to try and empower web designers in the UK and abroad if you're attending from overseas to basically be able to charge more for your websites with your clients by potentially offering add-on services. And also, we have a lot of clients that we work with that have had a website built by a web designer in the past, and they come to us, and in a lot of cases, they're at ground zero. They've never had any SEO done before. So what we would like to do is to just try and empower some web designers that they can make the basic stuff correct on websites, upsell that as a service to their clients, and yeah, just basically earn more money. And in us helping you, you might get to the stage where you're thinking, you know, maybe I've got a client who needs a little bit more technical SEO information. And if we're helping you guys, you might then decide to come to us. So we're looking at this as trying to be a bit of a win-win. We want to empower you guys as much as we can to be able to offer these services. But if you ever get to the stage where you think, you know, this is more technical than I'm prepared to do, or I just need an outlet for my SEO, then maybe you'll be thinking of Serpify first. So let me just quickly check just to make sure that everyone's happy with this and that you've attended the right webinar and this is basically what you thought was going to happen. If yes, just put a 1 in the chat box. I just want to quickly just see where you guys are at. Perfect. Okay, fantastic. Perfect. Okay, great stuff. Yeah, I can see we've got quite a few people on today, so hopefully this is going to be a good webinar. I'm also going to be talking to you towards the end of the webinar. We're going to do a Q&A session. I'm going to try my hardest to keep this webinar to 60 to 90 minutes. I understand, obviously, that you guys have got businesses to run. My kids finish school as well, and I do work from home, even though we've got offices. I pop into the offices sometimes, but for the most part, I work from home. So once it gets to about 3:30, my home office is going to get a little bit manic with all the kids running in. So I'm going to try and keep this short and concise. I'm going to allocate about 20 minutes, half an hour at the end to Q&A. If you've got any questions, now's the time to ask, or at the end will be the time to ask them specifically about SEO. So I just want to ask you guys as well, just do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat box if you are doing SEO currently in any capacity. and put a 2 in the chat box if not really. You're just kind of mainly focused on doing websites. I'm just curious to see what the split is here. Okay, perfect. So we've got a lot of you guys that are doing SEO currently. Fantastic. And so hopefully you're going to learn some stuff on this one. And even if we do cover some old ground, it's sometimes good to just get a refresher anyway. So hopefully this is going to go well. And yeah, I'm going to get started with this now. So just really quickly about the hosts. This is me, James Upjohn, over on the left-hand side. I'm an international SEO coach. I have been doing that for over 10 years. I've coached hundreds of students one-on-one on how to do SEO. I created Serpify with Jonathan, my business partner, in 2017. Previous to that, both Jonathan and I had our own SEO agencies. Jonathan was in Wigan, I was in Skelmersdale, and we just decided to merge our agencies, and that's how Serpify was born. But between us, we've got about 20 years worth of industry experience. I absolutely love getting stuck into technical SEO. One of the things that I kind of pride myself on is if there's a website which is completely stuck in the rankings, I love getting in there really technical and figuring out why does Google not like this website. And I love the challenge of fixing that to shift rankings quite highly. And Jonathan, he's our sales director. You can see here, he's been an SEO consultant for almost a decade. He's worked with hundreds of clients, ranked countless websites, and he loves doing proposals and the research phase of client acquisition. Jonathan really loves the facts and figures and how can we actually help businesses? Where are the numbers? Okay, so yeah, that's us two today. And Jonathan's going to be in the comment section as well today. So if you have got a question to ask, I'm not sure whether you guys can actually see the comments. Let me just quickly check. Can you guys see the other people's chats as they're coming in? Oh, yes, you can. Okay, perfect. So as I'm going quite quickly, we will save Q&A till the end, but if you've got any questions in the meantime, it's quite pressing. Just post it in there. Jonathan will be managing the chat, so he'll try and jump on. It will save me having to keep going backwards and forwards. So, mobile first indexing. On March the 26th of 2018, Google rolled out a pretty significant change for websites and how it sees them in Google. You can go to developers.google.com and you see the URL there. And by the way, guys, if you just want to take screenshots, feel free to do so. Literally, you can just print screen on your keyboard if you're on Windows. But take a snapshot of that so you've got the URL in case you want it in future. Or, in fact, Jonathan might just copy that link and paste it into the chat box for you guys as well. But Google, in March 26, 2018, created a mobile-first indexing algorithm. And basically, what that means is that for those clients that have got separate mobile versions of their website, in the past, what used to happen is Google only ever looked at the desktop version of the website and used that to decide where a website should rank, regardless if somebody was searching on a mobile or not. Okay, so what they decided to do was, because so many people have lousy mobile versions of their website, they either don't work properly or there's issues with them, maybe the website is not even mobile friendly. Basically, what was happening is the website was being served up in the mobile index and then people was having a really bad user experience. So what Google decided to do, which was a pretty significant shift, was we're going to look at the mobile version of the website specifically when it comes to displaying mobile results. That's on phones, tablets, any type of mobile device. So your client might have the absolutely amazing desktop version of their website, but if their mobile version is not so good, then they might not rank in mobile searches. And something that's really, really interesting is we've been running a lot of paid ads recently, specifically for keywords like SEO training, and it's amazing just how many people are searching on mobile devices currently. I was absolutely blown away. Something like 85% of our ad clicks happened on mobile devices. So really quite important to do that. If you're not doing this currently, what you can do, let me just quickly make sure that we can get this up. Let me just quickly check, guys. Can you now see that I've just opened Google Chrome? Perfect. Thank you, Elliot. You can go to Google and you can type in mobile friendly test. Whoops. And just quickly check this for your clients that Google is going to be happy with the mobile version of your website. If you're building responsive designs, that's absolutely fine because it will display right on all devices, you know, on your mobile devices and your desktop devices. So if you're building that specifically responsive, or you know you're building mobile friendly designs, don't worry so much about the mobile friendly index because Google will use the same version of the website because it automatically changes based on the device. However, if you've got a client that you know created an m.domain.com, it's a separate version of the mobile site, there's a really good shout to say to them, either let's switch you to mobile friendly, responsive design, or we need to actually go in and really look at just a mobile version of the website and make sure it's as good quality as the desktop version. So we can just do a mobile friendly test. Just literally just type in your URL, click run test, and you'll find out very quickly whether the site is mobile friendly or not. Hugely, hugely important moving forwards. So that's the first thing that was a big, big change. The next thing, let me just try and get back to this. You'll have to bear with me. I'm not used to doing webinars with screens, PowerPoint slides like this. So hopefully you'll be able to follow along and we won't have too many technical glitches. The next thing that was a huge change was Google Featured Snippets. Again, this is old. You know, they were writing articles about this back in February of 2018, but it's still something that's really important. And if you're building websites for clients, it's something that as a web designer, you can offer this to them as a service, as long as you know how to go about getting featured snippets. So what is a featured snippet and why is it important? If you go to Google and you type in what is a featured snippet or featured snippets, you'll see boxes like this that have got questions in them. What is Google Featured Snippets? How can you make a rich snippet? What is a snippet in SEO? And again, just heading back to Google, and by the way, we can see here, Serpify is mobile friendly, that's good. When we go to Google and we type in any kind of question, Google will show us a snippet right at the top of the search results. How to roast a chicken. Let's just type that in. And you'll see this is one type of, this is a recipe featured snippets. If we type in USD to GBP, sorry. If we type that in, we'll get a different type of featured snippet. You can see this one here is specifically about currency. Okay, so in 2018 and onwards, Google's relying very heavily on the use of featured snippets. And this is where it will just pull information from somebody's website and it will display it right into the search result because it gives people the best user experience. I don't have to click through to a website to use this. I don't have to click through to a website to find out what temperature I should roast lamb. It will display it right there. Here's the beauty of featured snippets. Your client or your own website doesn't actually need to be ranking on page 1 of Google for your snippet to display. There is some correlation that if you are ranking on page 1 of Google, that you've got more chance of getting the featured snippet, but it's been proven time and time again that there's plenty of websites that are not on page 1 of Google that can get the featured snippet from Google and take what's known as position 0. Now, if we're an SEO or a web designer and we're thinking about doing this for our client, how can we think about making sure that we've got a chance of getting featured snippets? Really, there's a couple of rules for this. One of the rules is to be using heading tags above anything that you want to do. Let me just quickly open up a notepad file. I'm just going to open this notepad file quickly. Let me just quickly check. Can you all see the notepad file okay? Perfect. Okay, great stuff. So Featured snippets typically display when somebody asks a question of Google. So let's just say how to lay a carpet. Let's just try that. It's just a standard question that somebody might ask. And let's just see if that actually triggers a featured snippet or not, because we've asked Google a question. So we can see we've got a YouTube video that's come up here, but also we can see, how do I install new carpet myself? How long does it take to carpet a room? Can carpet be fitted with furniture? Okay, we can see there's lots of questions that are asked. And if we check these, the first one you can see, there's a table of contents, and that's on DIYnetwork.com. The next one we look at is a paragraph snippet. That's on ehow.com. The next one is my builder, again, a paragraph snippet. And basically we can go down. Here's another one that's a list. And so just by looking at featured snippets that already appear at the top of Google, there's a couple of things that we can find out straight away. Okay, first of all, each one of these is a question. So you can see these finish with a question mark, okay, as we go down. And then second of all, typically featured snippets are going to have some form of ordered list. Okay, so think about doing this for your clients, explain to them why you're doing this, and you could potentially charge them more money for it, right? Because you're trying to get them the featured snippet box. And this is kind of separate from SEO. It's more kind of like a bit of an add-on service, because somebody just give me a niche. Anybody that's on now, just think about one of the websites that you've just built recently and just write something in. I don't need the actual website URL, just what the niche was or what the area was. Okay, we've got autoglass. Fantastic. Right. So thanks for that, Elliot. We've got autoglass as a keyword. So again, if we went to Google and we started typing in things like, I don't know, how to repair a windscreen chip. Let's just try something like that. I'm just thinking of just something off the top of my head. I want to see if a featured snippet appears for this or what comes up. Yeah, you can see here, look, how much does it cost to repair a chip windscreen? What chips can be repaired on a windscreen? How long does it take to repair a chip windscreen? Can you see a windshield chip repair? So here's what we can do, right? We can make sure that when we're building the pages for our clients, we can include these questions in heading tags within our website. Okay, so we can put these in as, in case you guys, H2 tags. That's the H1 tag on a page, which I'll talk about when I discuss the three kings. The H1 tag on a page is the most important heading. It's like the newspaper headline. So your H1 tag should have the main service that your business wants to rank for in Google. Your heading 2 tags, you can have as many of those on a page as you like. You should only ever have one H1 tag on a page, but heading 2 tags, you can have lots of them, okay? And your heading 2 tags would be perfect for something like, how much does it cost to repair a chip windscreen? Question mark. And then underneath, if you wanted, you could create an ordered list if you want to try and get the ordered list snippet. So you might say, let's just say, we'll type out the full things, but just for speed's sake, I'll just say question would go in here. And then underneath, literally, ordered list, LI, and then you can just start saying, you know, how much does it cost to repair a windscreen? There's 5 things to consider. Number 1, how big is the chip? Number 2, does the whole windscreen need replacing? Number 3, is this covered by your insurance company? For example, right, we can probably find enough lists, 4 or 5 different things that people might consider, which will give us the best possible chance of taking a featured snippet. So there's a couple of other things you can do besides just looking at the featured snippets in Google. There is actually a website that you can use, which is called answerthepublic.com. And Answer the Public's absolutely fantastic. It will give you loads and loads and loads of different types of questions based on something that you put in. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to type in windscreen repair. Bear with me one second. I'm going to click Get Questions. And then this is just going to fire out lots and lots and lots of questions for me, specifically related to windscreen repair. So definitely make sure that you're using ordered lists right on top of or right underneath heading tags, which contain the actual questions that you want to try and trigger a featured snippet for. And we can see here, can you repair windscreen cracks? Is windscreen repair free? Are windscreen repair kits any good? Why repair windshield? Why repair windshield chips? Okay, you can see there's a whole bunch of different questions here from Answer the Public, and that's just for one keyword. And the keyword in that case was windshield repair. Remember, the actual niche was auto glass, so there's probably going to be tinting if your client offers that as a service, cracks repairs if they offer that as a service, right? Cleaning if they offer that as a service. So we can try and factor some or all or as many of these into our page as possible. We could even put these all on an FAQ page, again, with the heading to tag and then an ordered list underneath it, followed by a paragraph, and to give ourselves the best possible chance of getting the featured snippet. Definitely make sure that you're doing that if you're not currently. It's so easy to do. And like I said, you can upsell that one to your clients. Let me just quickly check if everybody is following along. You all happy with this? Like everything making sense is what I meant to say. Perfect. Great stuff. I am just glancing over at the chat every once in a while, but sure, if you you feel free to ask questions in the chat box as well, or save them till the end. So that's specifically about rich snippets in the search results. And here's the beauty of this. If you really want to understand something, this is kind of my methodology towards doing SEO. Okay, we can just quickly check. So the AA.com, what chips can be repaired on a windscreen? Okay, let's just quickly, you can head to the AA and you can find out how did they actually get that featured snippet, right? So if you want to be sure about this, the question was, one sec, let me just quickly head back. Just bear with me 1 second, I forgot what the actual question was. Which one was it? Come on, sorry, my computer's running a bit slow. What chips can be repaired? Okay. Okay, so let's just take that. Let's just head over to the AA.com. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to grab a drink of water quickly. Okay, perfect. Back, sorry about that. So I want to go into the view page source, and we can just have a quick look and see what type of heading tags these guys are using on their page. And just go to view source and just type in H2. These guys aren't using any H2s. They've got one H1, which is windscreen safety. Let's just see if they've got 5 different H3 tags. And it's up to you whether you decide to use H2, H3, H4, or H5. That's purely going to be down to your own personal preference in regards to the structure. Okay. Remember, as I said, you only need one H1 tag, but the rest of it's entirely up to you. Let's see if they are using any lists. Okay, yeah, we can see, but what does that link? Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, they have got different lists. That's for the here we go here, list, what to do in a breakdown, put the wrong fuel in. Okay, so these are different types of lists. So this will be interesting. The AA probably shows up for what to do in a breakdown. They've probably got the featured snippet for that. They've got a list item with the exact keyword, which is a question. Okay, that'll be something that we can check afterwards, but I'm pretty sure that they will have. And you can see here, we can just go through a website. If we just want to understand what is it that they did and how did they do it, are they using lists, are they using heading tags, in which way, we can go and check the view source and we can see how they did it. Worst case scenario is we copy what they did and we nick some of the featured snippets from them. Or worst case scenario is we copy what they did and we don't take any of the feature snippets from them, but we've created a website which is easily navigatable. It's got great user experience. And then when we do start SEO on it, it gives it the best possible chance of ranking because the good structure's already there. Maybe the client goes and gets some traffic, they pick up a couple of links, and now they've got the authority for those feature snippets to appear as well. So it's definitely something that's worth doing for your clients. Find out who's already doing it within their niche. If you've been commissioned to do a website redesign, you can go and look at Google, find out what feature snippets come up, and then add that to your proposal to the client. We're not only going to build your website, we're going to structure it in such a way that we're going to give you the best possible chance of stealing Blowjob's featured snippets. It is an additional service, but do you want to pay for it? This is what we can do for you. Now, all of a sudden, you can add 10, 20% onto what you was charging, right? So make sure that you're using that, guys. I'm going to head back to the PowerPoint now. Again, just bear with me on this one. The next one is security-centric. Again, going back to the beginning of the year, whoops. Google in February, this was more from Google Chrome, actually. Google Chrome released a statement to say that moving forwards, Chrome was going to mark websites as not secure if they didn't have HTTPS on them. Okay, it's something that Google really cares about. They want their end users to have the best possible experience, and unfortunately, websites that are not using HTTPS are not as secure, especially if they're collecting data. If we go to the first page of Google for any keyword and we do a search, if you're seeing 7, 8, 9, or even 10 of the people on page 1 of Google have got HTTPS in front of their domain, and you're building a website for somebody that doesn't have it currently, you've got a great case to say to them, hey, look, Google says they're going to mark your website as not secure. Okay, that can affect conversions. 10 of the people on page 1 of Google have all got HTTPS. If you want to move forward effectively with this and rank your website as best as possible in Google, even if not today, in a later date, then it makes sense for you to put a security certificate on your website and convert it to HTTPS. I just want to quickly ask at this stage, how many of you already know how to do security certificates? Put a 1 if you do, put a 2 if you don't. If you don't, I can show you a free way to do it really quickly. Okay, so we're getting a lot of people that are saying 2, they don't know how to do it. So I'm just going to explain that to you guys really quickly. And I'm going to say this as well. I've been doing SEO for 20 years. No, I've not been doing SEO for 20 years. I've been doing SEO for about 10 to 13 years. And when SSL first came out, for the longest time, I stayed away from it. And it was because it was new and it was scary and I thought it was complicated. And this sounds really difficult and it's frustrating, right? How am I going to be able to do this? I resisted change. So for the longest time, I just stayed away from SSL and thought, I'm not even going to secure my sites. It doesn't matter. And then one day I actually sat down and took the time to learn it and thought, really, is that it? There was nothing to be scared about at all. And it provides a huge amount of value. First of all, it can give you the padlock sign above your website. You see here, this basically says that this site's trusted and secure. So I'm going to give you a free way that you can do SSL certificates at the moment. I'm just going to quickly check. Are all of you familiar with cPanel hosting? And another thing is, put a 1 if you're familiar with cPanel hosting, and put a 1 if you're using WordPress or familiar with WordPress, and put a 2 if you're not familiar with cPanel or WordPress. Okay, perfect. Everyone's familiar with cPanel and WordPress. Okay, great stuff. This is a really simple and easy way to get a site from being non-secure to secure. Go to Google and type in SSL for free. SSL for free will give you a free security certificate that you can use within minutes, right? If you've got clients with budgets, you can use Let's Encrypt instead. It's the same process. But if you've got your own websites or clients that are on very tight budgets, You can use SSL for free, and it will just give them a free SSL certificate. So all we would do is type in the company name, in this case, serpify.co.uk, and it's going to tell you to download a security verification file. So here you get the verification file. You click on manual verification and then manually verify domain, and you download this file, download file 1. Just save it exactly as is. Don't make any changes. This one starts TU. And then it tells us that we have to upload this file to this directory right here. Right? So all we need to do is to log into our hosting account. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to have to do this on something other than Serpify, actually, because Serpify is already set up and I don't want to mess it up. Let me see what else I've got in here. Hopefully we've got something in here without HTTPS on it. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to grab a water while that's. Okay, cool. We'll just wait and see what comes up here. Add on domains. Let me see if there's something in here I can do it on. Right, let me just quickly go back. Sorry about this, guys. Just bear with me 1 second. I was going to do it on Serpify. Oh, we could do it on James Upjohn. I don't think there's anything on there at the moment. I think that's just a dead site currently. So this might work well, actually. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go back to SSL for free. I'm going to head back up and I'm going to do this for James Upjohn. So I'm logged into my hosting and I'm going to grab this SSL for free, download again real quick. Sorry about this. Let me just quickly check. Is the internet coming through clear for you guys? It's not breaking up or anything like that. Is it quite stable? Okay, perfect. Right, so I'm going to do this for jamesupjohn.com. As far as I'm aware, there's not one on there currently. You can see James Upjohn's coming up not secure, and it's just showing an index at the moment. Okay, so if we go to create SSL for free, we'll do a manual verification. We'll download that. This one's telling me to download 2 different files, so I'll grab both of those. The first one starts with VR, and the second one starts with AQ. Okay, cool. I'm just going to try something here. I'm going to try and go to https jamesupjohn.com and see what happens. I might have set one up on here. Okay, yeah. So just bear with me 1 second. I'll show you how to do this. I think there's traces of an old one still on there, but that's absolutely fine. So I've downloaded both of those files. All I need to do now that I'm in James Upjohn is go into File Manager, and we're going to look for a folder called Well Known, and we're going to look for one called Acme Challenge. So just wait for this to load. If you can't see when you're in File Manager the file called Well Known, just go to Settings and click Show Hidden Files. It's already set on this one. So head back to SSL certificate, and it says to create .wellknown/Acme Challenge. So whilst we're in here, I'm just going to create a new folder and I'm going to call this folder .well-known. Exactly like that, create folder. Okay, so now we've got this folder called .well-known. It then tells me that within there, I need to create Acme challenge. So let's do a new folder again, Acme-challenge. And that's within the well-known. And so now that's done, I can click through to that and I can upload these two accounts. So let's just make sure I'm in the right place. Yeah, perfect. So let's just upload those two files. One's VRK. I'll save them too. Just bear with me 1 second. I need to figure out where I just saved them to. Oh, WCC backup, fine. Just up. There we go. There's VR uploaded, and then the AQ one. Perfect. So those two are now uploaded to the file Acme challenge. I should now be able to come back and click download SSL certificate. My computer's running slow. I hope this doesn't time out. Yeah, this is timing out at the moment. I think it's because I'm streaming the webinar. But basically, what should happen at this stage is it will give you a string to complete. There'll be 3 boxes. One will, and each one of them will just have what looks like sort of like a hash key. It's probably about 100 characters long. Okay, literally, once that verification is successful. Which normally would be. I think it's just because I'm streaming and that took a little longer than it should have done. As soon as that's in there, all you would then do is just type in SSL. You'd come into your SSL TLS within here. And SSL for free, like I said, it will give you 3 different boxes. So all you need to do is click Install and Manage SSL. And then you copy and paste what's in those 3 boxes. So the first box will be certificate. So you choose James Upjohn. The first box will be certificate. You literally copy and paste that into here. The next one will be private key. You copy and paste it. The last one will be that. And then you click install certificate. And literally that then means you've got an active SSL certificate that's on the website. Okay. There are other steps included. The next thing that you would need to do is to install a plugin on the WordPress site called Really Simple SSL. Okay. Once that's installed, it's literally Really Simple SSL, which is, like I said, a plugin, and you install that on WordPress and you go into the settings and you click Run Now. And what that will do is that'll update all of the images on the website to be HTTPS. It'll update the login area to HTTPS. It'll automatically set up the redirects from HTTP to HTTPS. Like, it really is that simple. I would have loved to have been able to show you the whole steps, including adding it to WordPress. So here's what I would like to do for you guys, because we are a bit time limited. Do any of you think it would be beneficial if I just, after the webinar, maybe tomorrow, if I just did a video where I weren't streaming so you could see the full process from start to finish? Do you guys think it would be beneficial if I did that and then made that video recording available to you so you can actually see me putting it onto a WordPress website with the plugin and doing all of the steps? Put a 1 if you think that's beneficial, or put a 2 if you think it's okay. Perfect. Okay, just bear with me 1 second, actually. That's an interesting point. Just bear with me. Let me just quickly check something. Oh, yeah. I'm going to try this in the public HTML folder. There's that well-known. Okay, this is why it was finding it already. Just bear with me 1 second. Let me just quickly get rid of these. That was a great point made there. This is under the pressure of doing a live webinar. Just bear with me 1 second. Thanks, Alistair. Alistair said, should it be under the public HTML? Yeah, this is a bit of an awkward host, this one. I've got this one hosted with Jolt, and I'm going in via the WHM, which is not common for most hosts. As a result of that, yeah, I skipped the public HTML part because Flywheel and Namecheap, etc., put you straight into the public HTML folder. So just bear with me 1 second. Let me just try that one last time. It would be better if we could get it live on this recording. So let's see if we can do that in the right folder. So the issue there was I didn't put it in the public HTML. I put it straight into the root. So let's just try and see what happens if it will accept it. It might not accept it because it looked like it timed out, but that could just be because it couldn't find it. So we'll see now. Just bear with me 1 second. Hopefully it's going to be the same files it wants me to download. Just bear with me. No, it's different ones, right? Just bear with me while I just grab these two, C and A. Yeah, it's the same A file, that's fine. Okay, so we'll get rid of, let me just quickly refresh this. Public HTML, well known, Acme challenge. There we go. Let's get rid of the VR one because that's not necessary. And let's see if it will let us download it now. Hopefully it will. It seems to still be taking a little bit of time. Sorry about this, guys. This is sometimes what happens when you're doing live webinars. Hopefully it'll let it go through. There we go. Yeah, generating SSL security certificate. Alistair, that was a good catch on that one, mate. I'd have figured it out once I did the once I did it over the shoulder after the webinar. I'd have been like, oh man, why did I put it in there? But it is what it is. Okay, yeah. So this is exactly what I was talking about. You can see here now it generated the SSL certificate. I've got the 3 different things. So as I said before, once you've got that, you just simply go to your, if we can go back. Once you've got those 3 things, head back, make sure that you put in the SSL, and then as I showed you before, it's just a case of copying and pasting them, and they're labeled exactly the same. So it's pretty straightforward. Make sure if you're doing the SSL that you sign up so that you do get notified of the next expiration, because these don't always last a year. Sometimes they last 3 months, sometimes they last 5 months, sometimes they do last a full year. But if you've got an expired SSL certificate on your website, it's going to stop it working properly. So definitely make sure you sign up. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost anything. Somebody asked what's the catch. There isn't really one. These are just shared SSL certificates. So yeah, do that. Of course, if you want one that's guaranteed not to expire, you know, it's got a guaranteed year or a couple of years on it, or it's a bit better than the standard SSL. These standard SSLs are going to be perfect for 99% of clients. However, if they're doing advanced e-commerce sites and they've got payment gateways and it's all, you know, really secure information, don't use a free SSL certificate. Go to somebody like Komodo and get one of their extended licenses. It's going to cost more money, but it's so much more trusted from Google. So, sorry that was a little bit long-winded. You can see, hopefully, that was actually easy. I just put the verification files in the root rather than the public HTML. But SSL for free, download the files, put them in the right place within cPanel, grab these three things, copy it across. It really is that simple. Because we're getting a bit short on time, I will still shoot the video with the process from start to finish, and I'll include the bit where you can go to WordPress and install the plugin. So yeah, just be sure to look out for an email from me as soon as that video is done. I'll put it on the serpify.co.uk website. So let me just quickly check. Everybody following along? Everything still clear? Perfect, great stuff. So, next thing after security-centric, the top 5 things that you should be doing with every website. Keyword cannibalisation checks. I will explain what each one of these are in a few minutes, but keyword cannibalisation checks, schema markup, correct titles and descriptions, embedding the NAP and map, and internal linking. Okay, an absolute huge thing in terms of SEO in 2018 and moving forwards is something called keyword cannibalisation. Do me a favor and put a 1 in the chat box if you understand what keyword cannibalisation is. Put a 2 if you're not really sure and you'd like me to explain. Okay, we're getting plenty of 2s here. Okay, great stuff. In simple terms, keyword cannibalisation is basically where multiple pages of the same website contain the same keywords. Basically, when Google comes and crawls a website, if there's a home page, an internal page, and a couple of other internal pages, Google will read the entire document of the site and it'll work out which page it should share in the index when somebody searches your keywords. The biggest problem is, though, that if SEO isn't done correctly, multiple pages of a website could share the same keywords. And that really confuses Google. You might see, if you've ever tried doing SEO for yourself or client sites in the past, that sometimes when you do a keyword search, the homepage shows up. Another time you do a keyword search, an internal page shows up. Another time you do a keyword search, none of the pages show up. Basically, that's a typical example or a typical case for the fact that Google's just confused about which page of the website should be displaying for any given keyword. Google talks against having multiple pages on the website that have the same titles and descriptions. So what I want to do here is just show you how you can avoid this from happening if you're building websites for clients or if you're doing SEO currently. And I'm going to use somebody else's niche here as an example. So do me a favor, somebody, and just type, I'm just going to scroll up the comments real quick. I don't remember how far back it was. Auto glass, podiatry. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to use podiatry as an example because somebody asked about that. Let's say I've got a website, podiatry, and let's just say that we're called ABC Podiatrists LLC. Okay, this is the client's name. And the keywords that they want to rank for in Google would be things like podiatrist Miami. Okay, we'll just use that as an example. So, client wants to rank for that keyword. The homepage of the website, it would make sense for the most part to try and rank that for the main keyword, right? That's where we're going to be sending a lot of the authority. Typically, that's where if we're building social links or we're putting them in local business directories, typically the bulk of the page authority, the website authority, is going to be pointed to the home page. So it would make sense in this case to have Podiatrist Miami on the homepage in the title tag. And we could say something like Podiatrist Miami, ABC Podiatrists LLC. Okay, we could probably stick with something like that. Just bear with me 1 second. I nearly ended the meeting there. Hopefully you still sharing. Let me just quickly check. Everyone can still see everything properly and hear me? All right, cool. I just accidentally clicked off the screen and nearly closed out the meeting. Okay, cool. So the homepage, Podiatrist Miami, ABC Podiatrists. And here's a quick tip for you, and this is the way that I like to approach SEO, is that I consider SEO to be nothing more than a game of poker. Okay, let me just quickly check. Put a 1 in the chat box if you've heard that analogy before. Put a 2 in the chat box if you've not heard that analogy. Okay, we're getting plenty of 2s. Right, so one of the reasons why I consider myself to be a pretty good SEO, and I might sound a little bit vain there when I say that, but I really have coached hundreds and hundreds of SEOs on how to do SEO through group coaching, one-on-one coaching, etc. But one of the main reasons that I consider myself to be such a good SEO is because I use Google as my final source of authority, right? And so this analogy is something I came up with a while ago, and hopefully if you explain SEO to a client using this exact same analogy, it'll help them to think that you really are the expert when it comes to selling SEO. So put a 1 in the chat box if you're familiar with heads up poker, if you know what poker is. Put a 2 if you're not sure what poker is. Okay, we've got 1 or 2 people saying they're not sure. Okay, really quickly, poker is a card game. You're trying to play your best hand against somebody else who's trying to play their best hand. Whoever's got the best hand wins, okay? So imagine that we are in a game of heads-up poker, right? Especially for those of you that specifically know what it is. Imagine we're in a game of heads-up poker right now, right? I've got my cards, you've got your cards, and I get up to use the toilet, and I leave my cards face up on the table for you to look at. Put a 1 in the chat box if you think that looking at my cards would give you an advantage in a game of heads-up poker. If you knew what cards I had. Put a 1 if you think that gives you the advantage, right? We're getting plenty of 1s. Okay, great. So SEO is like a game of poker because we're in a heads up. It's us against Google. Google have a web spam team, and their job is to make sure that people can't game the system. They want to sell ads. They don't want people to understand SEO. So there's a web spam team that's working in the background, trying to level the playing field and make it hard for us to do SEO, right? And then there's me on the other side of it. I'm trying to do everything I can to rank at the top of Google. So it's a heads up between me, the SEO, and the web spam team. But here's the deal. The web spam team is at a huge disadvantage in this game of heads up. And the reason for that is every single time I go to Google and I type anything into the search results, they're forced to show me their top 10 cards. Right? Look at this. I type in Plumber Miami. Google can't tell me, hey, look, I don't want to show you what cards I'm playing. We know that whoever ranks number 1 has got the best hand, number 2, the next best, number 3, the next best, number 4, the next best. By your own admission, if we was in a game of heads up, it would be silly for you not to look at my cards if I left them there for you to see. Well, so it would be that you would be silly not to look at who's already ranking in the search results because Google's showing us, hey, look, here's the best site, here's the second best site, here's the third best site. Okay, let me just quickly check to see if that makes sense to you and why I use the analogy of SEO is like a game of heads-up poker. Put a 1 if that is making sense to you. Put a 2 if not so much, right? Yes, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for that. I want to say Cara, but I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. But yeah, thanks very much anyway. So here's the deal. Google's forced to show us their top 10 cards. There's SEO experts up and down the land that will tell you all sorts of stuff. Your title tag should be 200 characters long. No, it shouldn't. It should only be 50 characters long. Your title tag should contain your main keywords. No, it shouldn't. That's spam. Your title tag should have your brand in it. No, it shouldn't. You should just try and get as many keywords in as possible. Actually, your title tag shouldn't have your keyword in it because Google doesn't care about that. Yes, it should. No, it shouldn't. Like, you could read a million different things online from people arguing about something as small as a title tag. And the title tag, just in case anyone's unfamiliar, is the blue text that appears above any listing in the Google search results, right? So if I'm using Google as my final source of authority, forget what the experts say. I'm just purely looking at this, right? Should we use our keywords in the title of the website? Here we go, Plumber Miami. Let's look at who's already ranking on the first page of Google. The first website says Miami Plumber, so it's got Plumber Miami in it. The second site has got Plumber Miami in it. The third site says Miami FL Plumbers. The next one says Plumbing in Miami FL. The next one says Miami Emergency Plumbing. The next one says Miami FL, it's got plumbers. The next one says Plumbing Miami FL. The next one says Miami Plumber. The next one says Plumber in Miami. Okay, let me ask you this, guys. Should I put Plumber Miami, or in this case, let me just go back to the podiatrist example. Podiatrist. Let's do podiatrist Miami so that we can have a look. Should I or should I not put podiatrist Miami in my title tag? This one's got podiatrist Miami. The next one's got podiatrist Miami. The next one's got podiatrist Miami. Podiatrist near Miami. Podiatrist in Miami. South Miami podiatrist. Miami podiatrist. Miami FL podiatrists. Put a 1 in the chat box if you think I should use Miami podiatrist Miami in my title tag. Right? Where did I get that information from? I got it directly from Google. Why? Because Google's showing me what it takes to rank. Okay, just put a 1 in the chat box if you're just like, oh man, this just absolutely makes sense. Like, is this an easy way to explain how SEO works? I really think it is. Because here's the deal, there's 200 different things, approximately, it's not exact, but there's approximately 200 different things in total that it can take to rank a website. The harder the niche is, the more of those things you'll have to cover. But for a lot of these small local niches, there's not 200 things you need to do, right? You might need to do 5 or 10 or 15. You just need to do more than the person who's at the top. We know what works, we know what doesn't. And here's the deal, we can find out what works by looking at who's already ranking, right? People will come to me and say, James, I heard that I need to get links from the Guardian newspaper, but it's going to cost me £500. Should I do it? I said, well, has the #1 site in Google got that? No. Well, why do you need it then? Right? They didn't pay for that. What's the #1 site in Google got? Oh, they got a link from their Facebook page and they've got a YouTube video and nothing else. Well, if that's all it took them to rank #1 in Google, why do you think you need links from the Guardian? Okay. Hopefully this is making sense to you guys, right? And that's why I believe I'm really good at SEO, because one of the things that we've done within our agency really well is we've actually created specific tools that we can put a keyword in and it'll actually analyze every single one of the sites for us and spit out a report telling us what we need to do, how many links, what the on-page SEO should be like, etc. Right? And I've not brought you on this webinar just to sell you tools, by the way. I'm not going to say to you at the end, oh, by the way, that tool I told you about, you've got to buy it and it's $1,000 a month. That's just something that we created internally because I don't really like spreadsheets. Okay? But I'm just saying to you that, you know, this is stuff you can do yourself. You can use spreadsheets if you want to, and you can say 9 out of the top 10 have got the keyword in the title. 7 out of the top 10 are using Schema markup. 9 out of the top 10 have got SSL certificates, right? We can see here, HTTPS, 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 HTTPS. There's a really, really good shout here that we say to our client, you're not HTTPS, and you should be, because 9 out of 10 of the people on page 1 of Google have got a secure certificate on their website. Okay, same thing, using the mobile friendly check. 9 out of the top 10 have got mobile friendly websites, and you haven't. You know, really, if we're just playing a game of averages, you should have it too. So this is how I approach SEO, and that's what allows me to figure out what works for websites that rank and what doesn't, just over doing this a lot of time. So I sidetracked a little bit there, but that is because it will tie in quite nicely with what's here. So ABC podiatrist and keyword cannibalisation. We want to have on the homepage, just quickly coming back to this, Yelp. This title is a little bit long, but if I click through to the website, you'll see their title tag will have Yelp in it. So they've got the keyword and they've got their brand name. The number 2 website, Omega Medical Group, has got the keyword, the brand, and it's also got the keyword. The next one, Yelp, we can see Yelp there. It's got the brand, it's got the keyword. The next one has got the keyword, it's got the brand. Okay, ZocDoc, there's no brand in there, but there's the title. Miami Foot, it's got the keyword in there. The next one, Dr. Fun here, Dr. Fu, whatever that is, it's got the brand in there and it's got the keyword. The Angie's List is the brand and it's got the keyword. So this is exactly why I tell you for your homepage, there's your keyword, there's your brand, right? Every single page of the website set up in that exact same way. So this is a podiatrist, and we're going to do that for the homepage. What we don't want to do is, let's say we've got an FAQs page. What we don't want to do on the FAQs page is put the title as Podiatrist Miami FAQs ABC. Yep, I'm just going to say PLLC there for podiatrists. We don't want to do this because what's going to happen on the website is Google is going to say, well, which page of the website should we rank for podiatrist Miami? Are we going to rank the homepage for that keyword or are we going to rank the FAQs page? We actually don't know, right? Because both of them have got the keyword in the title tag. So here's what we want to do on a site like this. The keyword comes first, then the pipe, then the company name. Right, so on the next one, the keyword comes first, then the pipe. That's a pipe separator symbol. Then let's just take it like this, just so we can do this, right? Notice how the homepage has got the actual full keyword, including the location. The FAQs page, it doesn't have the location in there, so it's not going to compete with the homepage, which is targeting Miami. As we go down and we type in, we've got a contact page, same thing. It's not got FAQs, a podiatrist FAQs in the title. Notice how each one of these titles is unique. The brand name is a non-issue. You want the brand name in each one of them. We can see that it's not an issue by just looking at Google. Every single one of WebMD's pages has got WebMD physician directory written at the end of it, right? So we don't have to worry about including the brand. That's absolutely fine. So there are going to be cases though, where you can't help but have keyword cannibalization. Let's just say, for example, we're going to do plumbing Miami, and this is from ABC Plumbing, right? So the homepage is plumbing Miami. The guy also wants to rank for emergency plumbing Miami. Okay, so it's currently a separate page of the website, ABC Plumbing. Right, you're going to potentially run into problems here with keyword cannibalization. And the reason for that is the homepage has got Plumbing Miami in it, so has this internal page. So you've basically got 2 questions to ask yourself. The questions are, do I actually need 2 separate pages of the website for this? If you're doing web design for clients, ask them, is it better user experience if on the homepage, we have Plumbing Miami, and then we just have a section on the homepage that talks about the fact that they offer emergency plumbing, okay? Put yourself in the shoes of the actual person that's using the website, right? You go there, the homepage is Plumbing Miami, the internal page is Emergency Plumbing Miami, another internal page is 24-hour call-out Plumber Miami. Okay, you're going to be confused. Your head's going to be in a spin. You don't know which page is most relevant to you because all of them are about the same. That's not good user experience. The best thing to do is to merge pages. One page that's got more content on it that's going to be more beneficial without just speaking for the sake of speaking. Okay, typically what happens when businesses create Plumbing Miami, Emergency Plumbing Miami, 24-hour call-out Miami, is that they just end up putting a lot of waffle on the page because they need to put some content on there so that it's not really thin. The better thing to do would say, you know, we're a plumber in Miami. We offer emergency plumbing. We offer 24-hour call out. List it all on one page. You get rid of that keyword cannibalization issue. And Google prefers that one page because it's got more meat on it. And your customers are going to prefer it because all the info they need is on one page. And even better than that, they're going to stick around on the page longer, which means you've got a better dwell time on site, which means that potentially you're going to stay ranked for longer, or it's going to help with your ranking. Now, there will be cases, I'm going to use this emergency plumbing example as an example, right? There will be times where the client's adamant that they have to be separate pages. And that's absolutely fine. All you need to do to solve the keyword cannibalization issue in this case is right at the very top within the body, you can say, we are an emergency plumbing company in Miami, or something along this line. And all you need to do on the emergency plumbing page is just take the plumbing company in Miami part of it and link it back to the home page. So we're basically, in that case, saying, hey, Google, look, this page is about emergency plumbing. Hey, end user, this page is about emergency plumbing. But if you just want a plumbing company in Miami, here's the best page for it. It's the home page, right? So internal linking on pages that could potentially cause conflict and making sure you link those pages back to the actual page you want to rank for that keyword is going to be hugely beneficial to stop keyword cannibalization issues. If you're currently thinking to yourself, oh man, my own website, I'm pretty sure it's got keyword cannibalization issues, or oh, I'm pretty sure that one of my clients has got keyword cannibalization issues, I'm not really sure. Literally send me an email and I'll be happy to have a look at it and audit it for you and give you some tips and advice on what you can do to fix keyword cannibalization issues. Because I understand I'm under the gun a little bit with time in here, and I could potentially talk about just this one topic for a whole other webinar. If you've got any questions about that specifically, feel free to send me an email and I'll definitely look at that with you. So we just need to make sure that keyword cannibalization is absolutely nailed on. I'm going to show you a client. Just bear with me 1 second. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm just loading up something on my other screen. Just do me a favor and put a 1 in the chat box if you can see my Serpify. Perfect. So here's the power of keyword cannibalization and fixing those issues. We've got a client that we took on recently, and I'm going to go to some of their biggest search keywords. Driving school, Jacksonville, FL, 1,000 searches a month. Just put a 1 in the chat box if you think that's a fair keyword. Like, I'm not trying to give you smoke and mirrors like, hey, look, I rank for jelly babies with yellow Wellington boots in North Florida, right? Driving school, Jacksonville, FL, it gets 1,000 searches a month. Put a 1 in the chat box if you think that's a fair keyword for me to say to you, hey, look, I did something recently and it worked well. Okay, great. Driving school, Jacksonville, FL, look at this. We started fixing the client's website on the 6th of January. I don't want to blow unnecessary smoke or make unnecessary claims here, because this was pretty quick. Okay. Normally it doesn't happen this quickly, but in this case it did, and the client's absolutely thrilled to pieces. Basically, the client had a load of pages on their website. It wasn't clear with titles, and they had missing pages, and their internal linkings weren't right. They had all of these Google My Businesses set up. Every single one of them was pointing to the homepage. And I just basically said to them when we took them on as a client, you're confusing Google so much. There's so much you can do with this website. Let's create clear pages. Let's get rid of your cannibalization. Let's do some indexing, and let's make sure your links are pointing to the right place. And you can see here what happened. On the 13th, sorry, there was in position 13th on the 6th of January. Okay, 10 days ago. Okay, I worked on it to fix those issues. I submitted it for re-indexing to Google, and I was able to tell them on the 9th of January, 3 days later, hey, look, you moved up to page 1 from 13 to 10. They was absolutely happy with that. I then was able to tell them on the 10th, so the following day, hey, you've now moved up to position number 2. You know, these guys are doing backflip, cartwheel, handstands. They're so excited. And then yesterday I was able to tell them, hey, by the way, we've just got you position number 1, right? This is the importance. And the reason for me showing you this, and by the way, that just wasn't a fluke with one keyword. That pretty much happened with all of them. You can see we moved that one from 6 in the same time up to number 1. We moved this one from position 21 up to position number 3. Okay, so pretty good things going on. And the reason for me showing you that is just to say, look, I really, really, really do get good results, and I am just doing for these clients what I'm trying to explain to you on this webinar, right? Plus a boatload of experience. But this stuff just works, and I want you to believe me when I say that. Do it because it works, right? And if you want me to do a video to explain keyword cannibalization, anything in more detail, just reach out to me. If you want me to look at one of your client websites with you, just reach out to me. I'll drop our emails at the end of the webinar if you want to get in touch. But really, I just wanted to show you that, to say, look, we genuinely do know what we're talking about. So let me go on. Where were we? So keyword cannibalization check, super important. Make sure each title of your website is unique, okay? And you can literally do it like this. You can go to Google and you can type in site colon, and then you can type in any URL, okay? So let's just say site colon searchlayer.net. I'll just put that one in as a keyword. And if you do this as a search, this will bring up all pages of a website, and you can see here, refund policy search layer, contact us search layer, registration search layer, product archive search layer, test. You can see how every single one of these is unique, okay? And if we go up towards the top, there's SEO outsourcing in this blog post. There's also SEO outsourcing here. So what I would need to do on this is one of our sites, but don't worry about it. I just wanted to show you an example. But what I would want to do is just change this title, because you see how we've got world's best SEO outsourcing there, and then we've got SEO outsourcing this one. If I want to rank this for SEO outsourcing, it could compete in the search results. So just do site colon followed by the domain name and see what comes up. If you notice that you've got the same keyword appearing in multiple pages, just go in and fix them, get them changed. If you notice one of your clients is doing SEO, you built their website, they're off doing their own SEO, you might reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed that you've changed some of the titles. Did you realize you've just created keyword cannibalization issues? And if you want, I can fix that for you. And then again, you'll be able to get yourself a little bit more money or rank your own websites better. So again, let me just quickly check. Everyone following along? This all making this all making perfect sense to you all? Great stuff. Okay, cool. Correct titles and descriptions and schema markup and internal linking. I kind of covered internal linking. Regarding correct titles and descriptions, exactly the same thing, guys. Make sure that every title and every description on your page is unique. You can do this for clients. As another add-on service for clients, one of the things that you can do is, again, let's say they're a podiatrist Miami. Give you a quick tip here. This will help with conversions, and hopefully, why is Google? Oh, Google is showing me some results. Right, I'm going to find somebody here. Okay, right. Here's a perfect example. You might already be doing this for existing clients, right? So this or you might be doing some form of SEO for existing clients, or not much at all. You're building out the websites. Again, an add-on service you can sell to customers. It's just about how you frame it, right? So These guys are currently ranking #2 in Google. Omega Medical Group, podiatrist in Miami, is accepting new patients. Omega, that's their title, and their description is Omega Medical Group helps people of all ages overcome foot and ankle problems and reach their goals. Welcome to us. Welcome to our site. That's their title tag, right? And their description. Remember, this is an ad in Google, right? It's not a paid ad. It's a free ad, but any real estate on the first page of Google is an ad. We want to compel people to click through to our website or our client's website. What I like to do when it comes to writing good descriptions, I've already shown you how to do the title, but let's look at the description specifically. Remember, the people that actually pay for ads are usually pretty good copywriters. They normally write stuff in the search results, which in their ads, which is going to force people to click their listing above others. So let me just read this. Better option than ER urgent care. I believe that to be true. So we'll go back to ABC Podiatrists, and their homepage is Podiatrist Miami. So I'm going to take that because I like the sound of that. Coming straight to the industry and pain experts. Okay, perfect. So with industry and pain experts, that sounds quite good. Insurance coverage, Blue Cross, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to say I really like the idea of it being affordable. That's a good thing to say. And basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look to see, let me just quickly check this. Call today, accepting new patients. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the ads that are already ranking. We'll take some of that as well. And I'm just going to steal their copy to create my meta descriptions, right? Again, because these guys in the ads are already using the stuff that they know is going to get click-throughs, right? Minimal wait time. I like the sound of that. Easy pay options. Okay, this sounds good. So I'm just going to take that. Mail upon okay, I would need to rewrite it a little bit because it doesn't read like a description, but let's just take a quick look at this description. Omega Medical Group helps people of all ages overcome foot and ankle problems and reach their goals. Welcome to our site. Verse, better option than ER urgent care with injuries and pain experts. Affordable. Call today. Accepted new patients, foot and ankle specialist, fungal nail and pain laser therapy with easy pay options. Minimal wait time. Okay. If both of those were one above each other in the Google search results, answer this honestly. Which one of those two would you be most likely to click on? Like, answer it honestly. If you think #1 Podiatrist Miami, say 1. If you think no, Omega Medical Group, click 2. There's no right or wrong answer to this. I'm just curious to see what you guys think. Nobody else understood what I was saying, maybe. I don't know. Let me just quickly see what the rest of you guys think. #1, okay, perfect. Right, so here's the deal with this. It doesn't matter what niche you're in, okay? In this niche, the things that are important to people, it's affordable, okay? It's urgent care. It's accepting new patients, minimal wait times, all the stuff you would expect people to care about if they was looking for a doctor. Let's just change this now to lawyer and have a look at the ads when doing law. There's going to be a different set of buzzwords entirely, right? So the buzzwords are free consultation, no fees. That's a bad ad showing up there. Success stories. This one's talking about call now. So, call now, auto injury. Let's just scroll down and see if there's any at the bottom. Expert, established in 1930. Again, this is showing trust. These guys have been around for a long time. Expert is written here. Hurricane damage, cool. Get the max for your claim. Okay, so you can see this is a different set of buzzwords for this particular industry. People care about, are they trustworthy? Are they, can you get the max for their claim? So if I had a lawyer and I was building their website and decided, actually, I want to earn a little bit more money, I'm going to try and offer him an upsell to do all of his titles, or her. I keep saying him, but when I say it, his, I'm being gender neutral, actually. It could be either, just in case I don't want to offend anybody by us saying that all plumbers and all lawyers are men. But anyway, if we were to look at this and I was dealing with a lawyer, I might say to them, look, I'm going to write all of your titles for your website so each one's unique. It's going to give you the best possible chance of ranking. I'm going to write them in line with who's already ranking on the first page of Google. And what I'm going to also do is write your descriptions for you, again, to give you the best possible chance of people actually clicking through to your listing. You're a lawyer, so I'm going to talk about the fact that you're trusted. I'm going to talk about the fact that you offer no fees. I'm going to talk about the fact that you've been established for the last 50 years. It's got to be truthful about their business, but you see how you can really make them sound like an absolutely amazing company without actually needing to know much about ad writing or copywriting, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with you getting ideas of what to write from people that have already paid experts to do it for them. Okay, let me just quickly check if that makes sense to all of you. Following along? Perfect. Right. So you can offer that again as an upsell if you're doing just web design. If you're already doing SEO, it makes sense to do it because Google has a click-through part of their algorithm, right? Let me just quickly put this at the top. If this was the #1 site and this was the #2 site, by your own admission, most of you would want to click this one because it just looks better. And whether we like to admit it or not, we always skim read, even if subconsciously we're skim reading what that says before we click through. So if the #2 site catches our eye more and everybody's clicking on this site rather than that one, what the algorithm will do over time is it will realize that this should be in the #1 position because that's a better end user experience for the search results. With no other SEO, if a site lower than you in the search results is getting more click-through rate, over time, the algorithm will switch your places, right? Fact, Google's come out and said that that happens in their algorithm. So you want to make sure that you've got the best possible chance of getting click-through rates. How? Take all of the buzzwords from your industry and cram them into your description. That's definitely going to help you stay at the top because more people are going to be clicking through to you than anybody else. So make sure that you're doing that, guys. In regards to correct titles and descriptions, we've discussed that. Embedding a map on your site. This is going to be beneficial for people who are doing local SEO. Absolutely perfect for these local business listings, right? So, and this also ties in with local business schema. I'll cover all of these very quickly. Local business schema is just what Google will read in the header of a website to let Google know as much about that business as possible, as quickly as possible. So let me just quickly click through to one of these and hopefully we can show you defend your case. Let's just take a quick look at this. We're going to right click, view page source, and you can see here, if I go into Google and I type in schema, you can see here, look, they've got review schema. It's schema/review. Let's just go down and see what other types of schema they've got. They've got schema to say that they're a legal service. And we can see in here that they've got their company name in there. They have got, let's quickly scroll through these and see what else. They've got their postal address. You can see here, postal address schema. And let's just have a look to see what else they've got. Place. And you can see here, they've got their map link embedded in their website. This is all in schema markup. They're using an older version of schema markup, which is called microdata. There's actually a better way to do this now. But again, you can check to see whether the people on the page one of Google are already doing it, right? Google's our final source of authority. You're building a website for a client, or you're doing SEO for a client, check how many people have got Schema. If the number one person's got it, the number two person's got it, you can go back to your client and say, hey, look, I think we should be doing this on your website because that's what those guys are doing, and I'm going to charge you for it because I've got the expertise, right? So to do schema markup, just go to Google and type in JSON schema, JSON schema, and there's generators out there that will allow you to put schema on there. So I'm just going to type in generator, JSON schema generator, and just bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Here's an online schema generator tool. And all you would need to do is fill in the client's details within this tool. It'll ask for their address, it'll ask for their telephone number, their opening hours, right? And it will give it to you in a format like we can see over on this right-hand side. Schema options have moved. I just picked one at random, but let's, if, no, this is not, well, yeah, I'm going to have to think I'll have to find another one. But I'll just show you on this one anyway, just quickly. On a schema generator, you're looking for a local business schema, and it will say, what type of business are you? You choose from the drop-down menu. You put in all of their details. There'll be a section where it says same as. That's where you put links to all of their social profiles. You put in their opening hours. Be sure that the opening hours are consistent with their Google My Business listing if they have one. And then all you do is, as you type stuff in on this side, it updates it over here. And then once you've put in all of the company details, you copy this and you add it to the head section of the website that you're building, right? That's really, really going to help, because we're saying to Google, here's our Facebook page, here's what time we open, here's our Google My Business listing, here's our full address, telephone number, how people can get in contact. And it's right in the head. So Google's not scrambling around online thinking, oh, I wonder whether this website's got a Facebook page. I wonder if that Facebook page actually belongs to this website. We can just tell Google categorically, yes, it does. This Facebook, this Twitter, this LinkedIn, this YouTube, this Google+, these citations, they all belong to this website, right? Really important. Make sure that it matches up with their Google My Business. Get it added as local business schema to the top of the website. Just bear with me 1 second. I'll just go to Serpify to show you what it actually looks like in a real example of JSON. So just bear with me. And Google's definitely heading towards schema markup in 2018. Guys, I just want to check something with you all really quickly. We've probably still got another half an hour to 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. Like, you can probably tell that I love training and could just keep going and going. I want to be respectful of people's time because we're already at 90 minutes. So what I was thinking of doing would be to maybe continue this webinar another day this week, maybe the same time tomorrow or Friday, or just keep pushing and try and get through this in the next 20 minutes or so, and just speed it along. I just want to be respectful of your time with that, so I want to put that to the vote. Do you want me to keep going today, put a 1, put a 2 if you'd rather we rescheduled it tomorrow because you've got other things that you need to do? Right, pretty much everybody's saying 1, okay? I hope that's going to be okay with everyone. It'll probably be working out better for... Can you get hold of the recording? Definitely. You can get hold of the recording. So what I'll do as well is I'll make a point of noting that this was the hour-and-a-half mark, so that if anybody does want to get off, that's totally fine. And... just know that it'll be about the hour-and-a-half mark where you jumped off. I really hope you can stick along. As I said, I just love training, so I'm sorry that this is overrun. But if you guys are happy for me to continue, I definitely will do. For those of you that can't stay at the moment, but you're thinking about, I'd love to get in contact with Serpify. How do I get in contact with James or those guys? How do I get in contact with Jonathan? I'll just quickly go to that slide now for you. Just to say thank you very much for attending up to now. if you've got any questions or any clients that you need help with, just send me an email. I'm james@serpify.co.uk. Jonathan, my business partner, and actually we've got an account manager called Julia, who, if you're a web designer and you're thinking, well, I'm not really doing much SEO at the moment, or I am doing SEO, but I prefer to focus on web design, we actually do offer a white label SEO solution. And basically what that means is, if you want to keep your client, you could tell your client, hey, look, we are now offer SEO. And as far as the client's concerned, it's you that's doing the SEO, but actually you just give us the client details and we'll work on the SEO for the client in the background, and they never have to know that we exist. You do the invoicing, we'll do the SEO work, we'll provide you the report to say this is all the on-page we fixed, these are the links we built, these are the social profiles we did, blah, blah, blah. Here's a report, send it to your client, get an invoice, and we can just work anonymously in the background, getting results for your SEO clients. If you're doing web design and you ain't doing SEO currently, understand that that's an option. We do actually have some web designers that started selling SEO to their clients because they knew that we could fulfill it, right? So if you're interested in anything like that, then if you want more info, or you're thinking, actually, yeah, I've got my own website or one of my client websites I'd like you guys to look at, just drop me an email. And like I said, I'll have a look at it first. I'll always be fair. If I can't provide any value, I'll tell you, hey, look, I can't provide any value. I have also put it out there that if you need help with something specific like Schema, just get in contact with me anyway. I'll be happy to help you. So, yeah, if you're jumping off now, I want to say thanks very much for attending. I hope that you've got some value out of this webinar. I really do. And just before anybody jumps off, hopefully you are all still here at the moment. Just put a 1 in the chat box if this has been beneficial to you and you think, yeah, I've came here. And I'd be interested to know whether, like, because you just got this notification from us saying, hey, we're doing this free webinar. Be honest about this just for a second. Just type freely. I just want to read your responses. When you got the email saying, hey, come along to this webinar, what were your thoughts about that? Yes, I definitely need this, or I'm a bit dubious, or these guys are just going to try and sell me something. I genuinely would just like to understand what you guys thought about the way that you was approached on LinkedIn to come along to this webinar, and whether you thought it's beneficial. I'm just going to literally just mute myself for 1 minute while I just quickly grab a drink, but it'd be interesting to see what that says. Hey guys, sorry about that. I'm back. Wow, there's some pretty good comments coming in there. Darren, thank you very much for your comments. Paul, thank you. I appreciate that. If you ever do need to use our white label services, I'd be more than happy to have a continued conversation with that for sure. Yeah, really, I'm a big believer in something called attraction marketing, which basically says, if you like, just do good things. Like, I want to put a lot of content out there. As I said to you at the start, it's a win-win. I really genuinely want to give away good information. And then if you think that the information that I'm giving is good, and we're genuine guys, then we might be able to work together. Worst case scenario is you decide, look, I don't want to work with you guys, but I still enjoy giving away this information. You still enjoy attending the webinar. everyone's happy, we're doing good things. So we'll never pull you onto webinars now or in the future just to sell you something. There's not going to be some at the end of this, right guys, now pay for this, it's $100 a month. That's just not going to happen, right? That's probably never going to happen on any webinar that I've ever done. I just believe, let's do good things, let's empower people. If you can make more money selling some of this stuff that I'm teaching you to your clients, you might then decide that you want to take it up even one level still and start giving us some SEO work. You might have a head scratcher in the future where you're just like, man, I just need James's opinion on this. I'll get up with him for an hour, whatever, right? This is our methodology. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. So the internal linking, embedding map and nap, okay, you saw, you can do this through the schema, okay? If you, let me just quickly show you what I did with Serpify. Again, just type in schema, and here's our schema right here. I said we're an organization. The name is Serpify Limited. Here's the URL. The local schema asks, where's your logo? So just right click your logo on your website, copy link address and paste that into the schema tool. Same as, you can see we've got a couple of different YouTube channels. There's our Facebook page, there's our Twitter. We're a local business. We've actually got a couple of addresses. We've got the one at Jackton House in Manchester. We've also got the one in Colchester, Warrington. So there's a couple of different ones there. We've got our opening hours. There's a link to one of our businesses, a link to the other one. Actually, it's just the team photo, but the name, address, phone number. So this is all in the head section of the website. When Google comes here, it can just be like really quickly get a snapshot of who is Serpify and what are they about. And within seconds, less than, but the algorithm straight away is like, okay, we know everything there is that's good to know about Serpify. Where they're located online, where they're located physically, what time they open, what time they close, everything, right? This is a huge plus for local rankings. Make sure it's consistent with what's in the Google My Business listing, and you can even link directly through HasMap to your Google My Business listing. So I'm saying to Google, hey, look, here's our Jackton House address, and this is the actual business listing for that, right? That helps with ranking that business listing in the maps. And by having the maps linking back to the website, it's helping the website rank because Google can say, oh, look at these guys. They really are everywhere and people tend to love them. Okay, so you can see here. So make sure you put in schema on the page. It's super easy to implement. It's something that Google's really looking forward to or really, really likes. And again, you can charge extra to your clients for it if you want to. So charge more with add-on services. I'm just going to go through these quite quickly, but set up Google Analytics and Google Search Console for your clients. Make sure you're doing that if you're doing web design and this isn't part of your offering. It's super easy to set up Google Analytics. You can actually do it under your own Google Analytics account. If you haven't used it before and you don't know what it is, literally just go to Google and just type in Analytics. And it'll ask you to sign up. You put the client's website in, and then it'll give you a tracking code. Again, if you're using WordPress and you're familiar with that, just install it into the head section of the website. And what analytics will do for you is it will allow you to see what pages people are visiting on a website, where that traffic is coming from, how long they're staying on the website. It's great insights. Most business owners have websites and they've not got the first clue about, are they actually getting traffic? If they are getting traffic, where's it coming from? They're clueless to it. And it just makes sense. It's free to sign up. You can sign up to Search Console and Analytics. Analytics will tell you everything about traffic to your website, where it's coming from, how long it's staying there. Search Console is different. Search Console talks more about how Google's bot specifically come into your website. So did Google's bot find any issues with internal linking? Did it find any issues with malware? Where are you ranking in the Google search results? It's really important. What links did Google find that link back to your website is in Search Console. Search Console, where you say to Google, hey, your bots are crawling our entire site. So here's a sitemap. Make sure that you crawl in every single page of our website, right? So make sure you're signing up to both of those, Search Console and Analytics. Add the tracking to the head for both of those. And again, it's another service that you can upsell. And if you're going to be doing the SEO, it just makes sense to be able to have access to that information. There are some people that say, oh no, we shouldn't put Analytics or Search Console. We're letting Google know what we're doing. Yeah, that's nonsense. Every website I've ever ranked #1 in Google has Google Analytics and Google Search Console on there. And I've uncovered issues with Analytics and Search Console, which has actually helped me to rank higher in the search results. So definitely do it. If you're running Facebook advertising or your client's running Facebook advertising, surely they want to know how many people visited their website from Facebook, right? Without analytics, they're absolutely clueless to that. So it does make sense to have that info and know what's happening. So create a sitemap and submit to Google Search Console. Okay, if you're using WordPress, you can install a plugin like Google XML sitemaps, and it will just generate a sitemap for you that automatically updates every single time you add a new post, a page, an image, a comment, or anything, and it'll automatically ping Google to say that your sitemap's been updated. And once you've created that sitemap, you just submit it to Google Search Console and say, here's a roadmap to our entire website. Keyword optimize their content. Again, super easy. Use Google as your final source of authority, right? Real quick on this, podiatrist, Miami. Let's just head back to that. Quick question for you guys. What do any of you understand keyword densities? Put a 1 in the chat box if you know what that is. Put a 2 in the chat box if you're not sure. No, some people not, some people yes. Okay, keyword density is just the number of times a keyword appears on the page compared to the number of times or how much content's on a website. Quick tip for you, you can do exactly the same thing. You can check every one of the top 10 positions in Google and you can see how many words do they have on the page and how many times does the keyword appear. So podiatrist, I'm going to come to this first website. And I'm going to type in podiatrist. And we can see here that podiatrist doesn't actually appear on this page at all within the actual body content. It does appear in the title though, so that's good. And let's just change it to podia, just for see. No, there's no mention of it at all. But Google understands that foot, ankle, pain, etc. is all related to that. So foot's mentioned 4 times. Ankle's mentioned twice, okay? But podiatrist isn't mentioned at all. So if somebody says to you, you absolutely must use the keyword within the content of the website to rank, well, this proves that that is not always the rule, right? There's exceptions to it. This being a prime example. Why is this company getting away with that? I'll tell you why they don't have the keyword on the actual page itself. They've got hardly any content on this page, right? There's not much. Let me just see now that I've opened that if it's got podiatry. Nope, still no podiatry in there. But this is a very thin page. However, they are hitting all of the correct points. They've got the keyword up in the title. They're using what we call related keywords or LSI keywords, lower leg, foot, ankle pain. Okay, so you might be, this is just one example, right? Again, if you had an Excel spreadsheet, what you could do is you could get more technical with this and you could say, position number 1, how many times does the word podiatrist appear? Position number 2, how many times? Position number 3, how many times? Position number 4. If you go through absolutely everybody on the first page of Google and none of them are saying podiatrist within the body text, and you're looking at your client's website and saying, this guy's or this person's just give me a 500-word article that says podiatrist 38 times, right? You're now empowered enough to go back to the client and say, look, It's not what's happening on page one of Google. We should try and get rid of some of this and rewrite it. If you want, I can rewrite it for you to bring it more in line with what is currently ranking. And again, you can add that as an add-on service, right? If we notice that the number one has got it 10 times and they've only got 200 words of content, they've got a high keyword density, it means that within that particular niche, it's okay to have a higher keyword density, right? So this is why analyzing the search results is always going to give you the best result. I'm going to look at what the top 3, top 5, top 10 are doing. I'm going to literally land somewhere right in the middle of all of those guys in terms of content length, in terms of number of keywords, in terms of what they're doing with their titles, H1s, right? And I'm literally pretty much guaranteeing that I can land on page one of Google because I'm just doing exactly what they've done to rank on page one. Okay, so keyword density is definitely something that you can look at using the analogy of SEO is like a game of poker. Duplicate content check and Grammarly check. If you're not using Grammarly, I highly recommend that you get it. If you hang out on YouTube and you're doing web design, you probably see the ads all the time, right? Grammarly is absolutely brilliant. You can literally install it as a plugin. I have got an account, I'm just not logged in, but Grammarly will literally check all of your spelling for you. And we know for sure now that Google does penalize poorly formulated content. If you've got spelling mistakes, if your grammar's not good, it affects the reading level of your website. And we know that Google's factored that into the algorithm. So it's so easy for you to be able to pull all of your clients' content, run it through Grammarly, update it, tell them, hey, look, you've got spelling mistakes. We can rewrite it for you. We can correct all of that. You charge them extra for it, right? You can check Copyscape. If you're not familiar with what Copyscape is, Copyscape will literally check your existing client's website. It will take their URL and you can check to see if anybody else on the internet's got the same content. A lot of our clients are not familiar, because they don't know about duplicate content. They paid somebody a long time ago to write some content for them, and that content got shared 500 times across the internet, right? Unfortunately for your client who's got content all over the internet that's the same as their website, is your client probably hasn't done as much SEO as some of the other guys. So Google might be looking at the other guys as being the authority when it comes to that content. As a result of that, your client gets hurt. It's going to be harder for them to rank. They might not rank. Google might see it as duplicate content. So all you need to do is take their URL, drop it into Copyscape and click go, and it will tell you whether that content exists anywhere else. If you find out that it does exist somewhere else online, just check to see whether that content links back to your client's website, okay? Google doesn't have a problem with duplicate content so long as it links back to the originator. So maybe your client took their homepage content and they created a WordPress.com blog, okay? And that's fine so long as the WordPress.com blog says in it, hey, this content is from, and it links back to your client's website in some way. That's absolutely fine. No duplicate penalties. That's just content syndication. However, if it's out there online and it's duplicate and there's no link pointing back to your client, that is duplicate content. You could get penalized. So run the check. Say to your client, hey, look, you've asked us to rebuild your website. We've just run your site through Copyscape and we've noticed that your content's been shared all over the place. I really recommend that you get new content for your website. And in fact, we've got great content writers. We can do it for you. And then you just find a great content writer and you outsource it, or you just write the content yourself using Grammarly to make sure that it's error-free, that it reads well, that there's no spelling mistakes in it. And now you're charging the client extra money. And again, you're providing them a good service. It might be something that you've thought about in the past, but you're not doing, or it might be something that you've not even considered, but it's definitely something that's going to help. Finally, we will finish this webinar within 2 hours, I promise. Darren says, Grammarly is really worth it. I definitely think so too. The actions your customers can take in 2019, okay? And this is more about what your customers can do, but also what you can do for them. install Yoast SEO plugin if you're doing WordPress websites. Yoast SEO plugin will allow you to set individual titles, and in fact, you can say Yoast or all-in-one SEO. Just bear with me 1 second and I will load up the back end of Serpify. So all-in-one SEO pack we're using on Serpify is quite similar to Yoast SEO. We actually use both. Jonathan prefers all-in-one. I prefer Yoast. So we compromised and used all-in-one. So yeah, that's either one of them is absolutely fine. It really doesn't matter. But you can see here with all-in-one SEO, it will create the XML sitemap for you. You can then take that and put it in your Google Search Console. Okay, rather than you trying to figure out how to do that stuff yourself. All-in-one SEO pack will also do some cool stuff, like if you want to mess around with robots files or block bad traffic coming to your website, you can do that. But for the most part, what I really like about all-in-one SEO is if you go to posts or you go to pages, all-in-one SEO lays out your SEO titles and your SEO descriptions right here like this. Okay, so here's something that I need to do in terms of SEO. I need to add descriptions to our blog posts, but forgive me on that. Like you can see, we only posted this one recently, and I actually do client SEO. So Serpify.co.uk is probably at the bottom of our list of priorities of ranking, right? Because we have 30 active clients that we actually have to do proper SEO for. So that's something that I just need to add to the to-do list, if you can do that, Jonathan, and I will get around to that. But again, if we go into case here, you can see in a very quick glance, every single one of my SEO titles is unique. Okay, SEO descriptions. It doesn't matter so much if you don't write a description because Google doesn't use it for ranking. But remember what I told you before. If you choose to write your SEO description, you can add the buzzwords in from Google Ads, which will help with conversions. So it won't necessarily help with rankings directly. It will help with people clicking through to your website. And we already established that clicking through to your website does affect rankings. So in a roundabout way, it is still a good idea to write your descriptions. Again, you can see that we're doing this for clients, right? So this is not the list of our priorities. We want to rank in Manchester. That's where we're based. So our Manchester page, our home page has got the proper title. It's got the proper description. Some of this other stuff like Essex SEO, SEO Cambridge, we put that on as filler content because we have thought about maybe one day ranking for every town in the UK, but it's not at the top of our list of priorities, and that's why it's not sorted. But if I want to fix this, you can see with all-in-one SEO, it really is as simple as I can just do it straight from here, and then I can update this one straight from here. So we can quickly see where the holes are within the SEO for the whole website. Definitely a good idea to install that, and a better idea for me to not save that as is. So I'll just get rid of that for now. Okay, perfect. If I want to use this all-in-one SEO, same thing. I'll just open a new tab. I'll go and type in SEO Sheffield. I'll have a look at the ads, see what buzzwords people are using. Lots of page one rankings, get ranked today. You know, get a free quote, get in contact for your site audit, and it's going to be all of that type of stuff that I'd use in the description for the page. So Jonathan says he'll get around to it eventually. We'll definitely get that sorted. It'll be a good case study to come back and say, hey, look, we did it. And by the way, this is what happened to the rankings as a result. So create a video to increase dwell time. That's something that your client can do. If your client doesn't know how to do it, you can do it for them. There's plenty of different softwares out there. Some of my favorites are Dub, Magisto, Jonathan really likes Animoto, which will take client pictures and you can put them into a video slideshow. Okay, just basically create a video. One of the best things to do in terms of conversions is just go and meet with your client if you ever have face-to-face meetings with them. Or if not, just ask them to take out their flip phone, smartphone, whatever they've got, put the camera up, put their glad rags on, and just basically say, hey guys, this is Joe, I'm the plumber, I want to come out and see you, this is why you should hire us, blah, blah, blah. You guys can't see this because I'm not sharing my webcam, but I actually do have my phone in my hand held up like I'm talking to my phone. And then I just thought to myself, why am I doing this? You guys can't even see that. That was quite funny. I'm putting my phone back down now. But yeah, I was demonstrating and you can't even see me. But yeah, get your clients to just do that. Upload that video to YouTube. You can then embed that video directly on their website. People will watch it. That'll increase the amount of time people stay on their page. You might ask the client to shoot a quick video. The client doesn't know what to do, how to do it. Just say to them, look, create something, send it to me on Skype, send it to me on email, add it to Dropbox. I'll optimize it. I'll add it to YouTube. I'll share it on your Facebook page. I'll embed it on your website, right? Again, you're upselling services. Explain to them the importance of it. People, you can share it on social. People will watch it on social. They're now engaging with your brand. They see it on YouTube. They watch it. Fantastic. That's more social signals. They click the link. They visit your website. You've now got referring traffic from Facebook, from YouTube. Google loves referring traffic to help with rankings. So again, these are just little upsells where you don't even have to charge a lot, but let's just pretend you're only charging £199 for a website. Now, when you're talking to the client about, we're going to do your content, we're going to make sure that it passes Copyscape, we're going to create videos for you, we're going to make sure it's all SEO. All of a sudden, your £199 website is, you're charging the client £799, £1,000 for it. And if you're scared about charging that type of money, don't worry about it because you don't have to charge it all at once. Once the website's built, you can go back to them and say, hey, I really hope that you like that. By the way, we can also do this. We can also do that. We can also do this. And you just start adding things on and doubling, tripling, quadrupling your money, right? So don't be scared about it. This is how lots of web designers are charging thousands for websites rather than hundreds for websites and getting away with it, right? So that's some stuff that you can do. Finally, create all social profiles and link from the website to the social profiles and vice versa. Create the Facebook page if they don't have one. Here's the beauty of it. You're the web designer, so you're already creating logos. You're already making sure that stuff looks good. All you need to do is go to Google and do a quick search for social media timeline template or something along those lines. Timeline dimensions, I think, is what I normally search for, but template came up. So let's just have a quick, let me just change that. Social media, it's stuck now. Profile, dimension, picture sizes, that'll do. Right, find out what all of the correct profile picture sizes are. We can see here, 250 by 250, Twitter, I think that one is, and Google as well. 1080 by 608 cover photo. Okay, so bookmark this, it's from HubSpot. As you're building the client's website, you've just got the logo for them, resize it to 250 by 250, save it as Twitter profile logo. Resize it again to 500 by 500, save it as Facebook profile photo. And Facebook's actually 180 by 180, but if you try uploading it at 180 by 180, it says your image is small. So the good news is the bigger the image is, when it compresses it, the better it looks. And that's why I said 500 by 500. Okay, but anyway, you can save all of these different formats for them and say, look, we've created your brand on social for you. As you create your Facebook account, use this image, use this for your timeline, use this for your YouTube header, use this for your Twitter header, use this for your LinkedIn company page. It's an extra 5 minutes worth of work for you. But if all of the sizes are right and all the business owner now needs to do is log into their Facebook and just switch it and their profile, their Facebook page looks 10 times better than it did, Look at the value you're providing. You can just offer that as an upsell for a one-time £100 or whatever. We're going to create all of your social accounts for you, like your social listings for you, the timeline. You could even upsell that again. Look, we've created your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your YouTube, all of these pictures, but we've noticed that you don't have a Twitter account. We've noticed you don't have a LinkedIn account. This stuff's important for SEO. Do you want us to create it for you and upload those pictures? Yes. Whilst we're doing it, we can also make sure that we add your website address, telephone number, and links to your website on those profiles. And you're now offering them more service. And this is stuff that actually will help them to rank higher, better, get traffic. So again, you're going to be able to offer your services for more money. So that's about it for the webinar. I'm going to ask real quickly. I see Jonathan's been absolutely fantastic at fielding questions as they come in. But guys, I just want to ask you really quickly, based on everything we've talked about today, have you got any questions for me that you'd like me to answer for you at the moment in a Q&A session? If you have, I'm just going to mute myself for a minute while I get some water. If you've got any questions, get typing them and I'll do my best to answer those. But I just want to take the time as well to just thank Jonathan for answering all of the questions. So guys, if he's answered your questions for you, and you're happy with these responses, just do us a favor and just write a cheers Jonathan or thanks Jonathan or nice one Jonathan, whatever, in the chat box. It's been a huge help for me not to have to keep breaking away to the questions every 30 seconds. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Not here, I don't think, but you can look out for an email from me. Thanks guys. Darren, I really appreciate that. Guys, I really hope this has been beneficial for you. Put a 1 in the chat box if you'd like me to do this again in the future, maybe a different topic. And I'm just interested to see what your feedback and thoughts are on that. And other than that, I'm going to say to you guys, I really, really appreciate all of you coming along. Alan, thank you very much. Much appreciated. I hope this has been beneficial. Leave it about 24 hours and maybe it's going to be sooner. What I'll do is I'll download this video, I'll get it uploaded to my Amazon S3 account, and then I'll add the replay to the Serpify blog. Do you guys think it'll be beneficial to get a copy of this recording? Just put a 1 in the chat box if you want it. I just want to know whether I should email it out to everybody. Perfect. I've got all of your email addresses that registered for the webinar. So once it's uploaded, I'll shoot you an email just to let you know and send you a link to the recording. Guys, I really hope that this has been beneficial to you all. Thank you so much for attending. I'm going to end this webinar like I do all of my webinars by saying thanks very much. I look forward to connecting with you outside of the webinar. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, get in contact with us by contacting James at Serpify, Jonathan at Serpify, or Julia at Serpify. But other than that, I really appreciate you all for attending. Thanks very much. And I hope you all have a great evening. I'm going to finish this one by saying good evening and God bless. Thank you for attending. Cheers.